Joe King walks out on stage and says,
Yes, hello, I'm Joe King. I'm not joking, though I prefer to be called Juris Dr. King. Anyway, in the last episode, we decided to make an exception to only having deceased guests on the program and invited former President Barack Obama to come on the show and have a spirited discussion about the pros and cons of having a, quote, divided media. So far, we have not gotten an RSVP, but it's an open invitation, so whenever the former president wants to come on the show, he's more than welcome. Anyway, of course, we bring up the writer's strike every episode because that strike is the reason we are no longer doing Saturday Night Live and I am resorting to my own solo show. So like I did last episode, I asked our future overlord, artificial intelligence, a question about the strike. I specifically asked Google's chatbot Bard the following question. Who is in the right with regards to the writer's strike? Bard's answer was the following. It is difficult to say who is in the right with regards to the writer's strike. Well, no shit, Bard, but you're AI. You're supposed to have all the answers anyway. Bard goes on to say, the Writers Guild of America, WGA, is arguing that the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, AMPTP, is not offering fair compensation for writers' work, while the AMPTP is arguing that the WGA's demands are unrealistic and would harm the industry. The WGA is seeking a number of changes to the current system, including increased compensation for streaming content, the ability for writers to share in the profits of their work, and a more transparent system for negotiating contracts. The AMPTP has offered to increase compensation for streaming content, but has rejected the WGA's other demands. The AMPTP argues that the WGA's demands would be too costly for the industry and would make it difficult to produce new content. Bard goes on to say that the strike has already had a significant impact on the entertainment industry. Many television shows have been delayed or canceled, and some films have been postponed. The strike is also expected to have a negative impact on the economy, as it will lead to lost jobs and revenue. It is unclear how long the strike will last. Both sides have said they are willing to negotiate, but they have not yet reached an agreement. It is possible that the strike could last for months or even years. Years? No way am I holding off on producing more Saturday Night Live for years, come the fuck on. Anyway, Bard concludes by saying, ultimately it is up to the WGA and the AMPTP to reach a compromise. If they are unable to do so, the strike could have a devastating impact on the entertainment industry. So there you have it, a rather grim take from AI, who itself is part of the standoff between the two sides, and we'll get into that a little bit on the next episode. Anyway, in the news, Democratic Representative Cori Bush proposed new legislation that would provide $14 trillion in reparations to black Americans based on slavery. Meanwhile, Representative Connor McMurphy is proposing legislation for 14 trillion potatoes to be dispersed among Irish Americans based on the potato famine. That damn 19th century, we can't seem to escape its ills, huh? Anyway, speaking of Irish people, my alter ego and Saturday Night Live co-producer, Tom Murphy, is Irish, as exemplified not only by his last name, Murphy, but also his middle name, Lynch, his mother's maiden name. Now, when I say lynch, I'm not referring to the heinous act performed upon African Americans predominantly in the 19th century, but instead the Irish surname. Okay, and of course Mr. Murphy's Lynch family had nothing to do with that. Or at least that's what he was told by one of his cousins on the Lynch side. I'm sure you know him, certainly the football fans do, former Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch. He assured Tom that their Lynch family had nothing to do with lynching any black people, so that's good. However, there's another Lynch out there who Tom is not related to, actress and comedian Jane Lynch. No word on whether her last name derives from the Irish surname or otherwise that her ancestors were very adept at performing a heinous act upon African Americans, predominantly in the 19th century.
King walks off the stage and onto another stage where he sits in a seat behind a desk and says,
Okay, please welcome to the program former SNL star and current Saturday Night Live star, Chris Farley.
Farley comes out from behind a curtain and starts doing cartwheels and breakdancing. Applause, applause, applause. Farley eventually takes a seat next to King's desk. King.
Well, Mr. Farley, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Farley. It's a pleasure to be here, Juris Dr. King. Just promise to not fall in love with me. King.
I'll try my best, Chris, okay? So anyway, how are you holding up with Saturday Night Alive being on strike?
Farley. Privately, I'm freaking out, man. I want to get back to doing some sketches pronto. But publicly, everything's going great, and I'm happy to support the writers.
King. Very good. Now, you started at Second City, correct?
Farley. That's correct.
King. My alter ego and co-producer of Saturday Night Alive, Tom Murphy, is currently taking classes there. Can you speak to your time there a little bit?
Farley. Privately, it was just a means to an end. But publicly, oh man, it was the best. I loved it there. I learned so much, and it gave me the opportunity to be discovered by SNL.
King. And how was your time on SNL?
Farley. Privately, I was freaking out the whole time. Wanted to puke every time I ate, which was all the time. But publicly, it was amazing. It was the best time of my life. I made so many great friends there, like David, Adam, Rob, Chris, Timmy. It was amazing.
King. Very good. Now anyway, there's been a lot of starlets that have hit the scene since you died. Have there been any that you've really taken a liking to?
Farley. Oh man, there's been one that really struck my fancy. I haven't seen her around much lately though.
King. Who's that?
Farley. Ellen Page. God, is she a hottie.
King. Chris.
Farley. Every time I see her, I just want to ram her real hard.
King. Chris.
Farley. Hold on a minute. I'm trying to explain how much I want to bang Ellen Page. Just really give it to her. Give it to her.
King. Chris, Ellen Page is now Elliot Page.
Farley. Come again?
King. She is now a he, as he had a sex change.
Farley. Oh my.
King.
Farley. No wonder I haven't seen her lately.
King. Very good. Now, what have you enjoyed about Saturday Night Alive thus far?
Farley. Privately.
King. Just give us the public answer, Chris. Jesus.
Farley. Okay, well, publicly, I love the cast. John, Gilda, Phil, Norm, Jan, and Denitra. It's been amazing to work with all of them. But you know what else I've enjoyed? King.
What's that?
Farley. All of the singing you've had me do.
King. That's right. Back when the cast unceremoniously kicked me out of my own show back in episode 146. You hosted and you sang a U2 song.
Farley. That's right. And I'd like to sing another U2 song right now, if you don't mind.
King. What do you say, folks? Want to hear Chris Farley sing again without any music?
Applause, applause, applause.
King. Okay, Chris, go ahead.
Farley stands up and sings. See the stone set in your eye. See the thorn twist in your side. I'll wait for you. Sleight of hand and twist of fate. On a bed of nails she makes me wait. And I wait without you. With or without you. With or without you. Through the storm we reach the shore. You give it all, but I want more. And I'm waiting for you. With or without you. With or without you, I can't live. With or without you. and you give yourself away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away. My hands are tied, my body bruised, she got me with nothing to win and nothing left to lose, and you give yourself away, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away, with or without you, with or without you, oh, I can't live, with or without you, oh, 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 with or without you, with or without you, oh, I can't live, with or without you, with or without you.
Okay. All right, Chris Farley, everybody.
Farley bows. Applause, applause, applause.
King. That's all the time we have for this episode. But tune in next episode where we interview another deceased guest. Until then, I'm Joe King, and I'm not joking.